Hello, everyone. Um, like many people on this tribute video, I was um, I was shocked when I got the news about Marcus Allen. Um, yeah, he was up there in years, but he was in apparently in overall good health. So when it happened quite quickly. So um, we're we're all. I know I speak for a lot of people when I say we're still in shock, and I know personally I'm still trying to process this. So I just want to go through a little bit briefly of how I met Marcus. I actually got in contact with Marcus about over 10 years ago, 2014. And um, I had been doing some blogging about the Apollo Moon mission hoax on another website. And I had come across some of Marcus' videos, and so I contacted him and I told him what I really appreciated his research. And here's what I'm doing. And wow, he emailed me back, and he actually read some of the posts that I comments that I had made, and he was quite happy with that. And so we went back and forth that year, 2014, for quite a bit. But then eventually the correspondence sort of subsided, it sort of broke off, and we kind of just went our own ways. So about 4 years later, I had published my first book on the Apollo moon hoax. And about, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 months after I published the book, this is now 2018. um, I'm up in the morning having my morning coffee, and I get this email just popped up on my phone, and it's Marcus Allen. And it didn't take me long to realize that that was the Marcus Allen that I had been corresponding with 4 years previous. So I was quite pleasantly surprised. And so he had basically said in the email, he said, I had just happened to be reading some comments you had posted, Randy, on a YouTube video, and you mentioned that you'd written a book. So I went online, went on Amazon, got the book, read it, and I was really happy. I really enjoyed it. He said, you now have a subscription to Nexus magazine. I mean, this is the kind of man that he was, right? He just like he'll not only praise you and thank you for your work, but he went out of his way to encourage you, right? And so we start corresponding again, back and forth. And I was fortunate enough about a year later, about 2 years later, December of 2019, to actually meet him in person. So we were on a trip to India, and I said to my wife, I said, we must stop in Britain. I really want to meet Marcus Allen. So I had contacted Marcus again and let him know what our plans were, and he said, "Yeah, that'd be great. Let's meet up and have dinner and chat." So, long story short, we arrived in Britain, and he came to our hotel. And I think it was around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and we went down to the restaurant. Well, actually, he met us at the restaurant, so we were having dinner, and we talked and we talked, and it seemed like we talked for only an hour. Well, what I didn't realize, it was almost 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It was like 5, 6 hours that my wife and I and him were talking, and it just flew by so quickly. The man was just amazing to listen to. And I was in awe of his knowledge and his research. And um, he really he knew a lot. It was not just about the Apollo moon mission hoax, but he had a lot of information about a lot of things. He was a very knowledgeable man, very smart man, very and a very kind man too. Where I would get down into the trenches and just go back and forth with somebody online or even in a debate, Marcus wouldn't do that. Marcus had a way of deflecting all the criticisms, and he did it very well, and he did it with style. And it wasn't just the British way; it was his way. And so we became very good friends after that. And we corresponded a lot. We actually did a lot of videos together on my YouTube channel. We went back and forth. We were actually doing a series on his book with co-written with Trevor Weaver, and um, we almost finished it. We never got to finish it, but we almost got it done. But it was just having those conversations and those discussions with Marcus was just incredible. And what else can I say about a man of his stature? I think it's safe to say that his legacy is set and it's a positive one. And people will look back over the years. In a way, he was his own trailblazer. I mean, he really paved a road. I mean, there was a couple of others before him, but he really paved his own road to this subject of the Apollo moon mission hoax, and he really made a convincing case for those missions to have been faked. And I find too that a lot of people, even though they didn't agree with Marcus Allen, they always respected him. And I rarely would I see anybody really take a shot at Marcus Allen, but they, even though they disagree with him, and they showed him a lot of respect. They knew that he knew what he's talking about, and they knew that, right? And they respected him for it. So I just want to say to Marcus Allen and his family, um, my deepest condolences to all of you. And I'm just thankful that I had the pleasure of not only knowing him, but meeting him in person. And it's an experience that will be with me forever. So anyway, his legacy is set, and it's a positive one, and he will be missed. He's missed already, and he will be missed by a lot of people. And but his legacy goes on, and the work that um, his work for the last 30 years will continue. We'll be talking a lot about Marcus Allen in our respective interviews, and we will continue his work. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for the kind emails I got regarding Marcus Allen, and I really appreciate it. And please, the best way to honor his memory is just to continue his work and the contribution that he made, not only to this subject, but to many subjects, to many other subjects. So, anyway, I appreciate the feedback, I appreciate the emails, and we'll continue his work. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.